Hey guys, welcome back. Come on in, make yourself at home, as you should when you're a guest in Bradley's house. I am your co-host, Jarrett Orr. She is my podcast partner, the executive director of the Knoll Family Foundation, Ms. Kellie Knoll. Kellie, how you doing today?
I'm doing really great. How are you, Jarrett?
Oh my God! If I was any better, I'd be jealous of myself, Kellie. I can't complain. It's a dreary Saturday here as we're recording. I've got two sick kids, and yeah, we're rocking and rolling. So it's
Oh, Jarrett,
I'm making
so
it.
sorry to hear that. It's a beautiful 76 degrees here in Southern California. You might be in the wrong place.
No, there's no might about it. I am in the wrong place, but that's certainly okay. Well, Kellie, I always get so excited for these episodes of Bradley's House because not only do we get to hang out and have some fun, but we always get to chat with somebody and learn something new. And I am super excited about today's house guest. Kellie, who do we have with us?
Today we have a wonderful human being, reggae rock artist, originally from New England, up in your neck of the woods, sort of, Jarrett. Now in Key West, Florida, which makes us all super jealous. Welcome to the show, Joe Sambo. Joe, thank you for being with us today.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me.
Oh,
How's
we
it
are
going?
so happy you're here. Okay, first of all, let's discuss Key West. When did you move to Key West?
So I made the move full time in November, and
Wow.
it was the best decision of my life. I love it here.
Was it? That must have been a huge change to go from New England all the way down south.
So much. Obviously, my roots are back home. I'm originally from New Hampshire and southern New Hampshire and Massachusetts area, and it can get very cold there. So it's definitely a huge change,
Right? Like
weather-wise, for
a
sure.
whole different wardrobe requirement there.
Yeah, all I'll wear is shorts and flip-flops every day now. Board shorts, and that's it.
Now, isn't there like Ernest Hemingway lived down there, right? So is there a lot of Hemingway stuff there?
Ernest Hemingway is my neighbor.
Shut up.
Yeah, I live
That's
like
so
two
cool.
blocks from the Hemingway house. I live right
Oh
down in
my
Old Town
gosh.
Key West. I really lucked out with the location I live in, and it's right in the historic part of town. And yes, there's Hemingway stuff everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, it's always scary when we make a big change in life, but sometimes, as you said, it can turn out to be the best decision you've ever made. I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And doing this move definitely helped in a lot of ways. Like, it's scary doing a big change, especially like a move like this, but a lot of things have been blossoming in my music career as well, and it's a lot of scary changes too. But
Yeah,
it's all coming together really well, and I'm super pumped for the future. And
that's
I'm super pumped to
fabulous.
be on the podcast because I'm a huge
Thank
fan of the
you.
podcast. I've been listening since episode 1. So
Oh, you're so
Oh,
sweet.
that's awesome, man.
It is cool. And of course, we had you on the house that Bradley built, which was fabulous. Loved that.
yes, thank you. Yeah, it was
Thank
awesome to be a part of
you.
that.
That was really cool the way it worked out. I mean, it was just perfect timing. And you were coming out to Long Beach and was able to hook you up with my dad and we
Yeah,
came
that
down
was
and
so cool.
recorded. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a really
yep.
fun time. He loved it. He had a blast with you.
Oh, he's the nicest guy ever. Your dad's the man.
Isn't he
Everyone was super
great?
welcoming, and I got to play the famous Bradley guitar, and there's a broken
Oh.
string on it still. It was still rusty and rugged. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Right
So I
on.
appreciate you hooking that up.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. So when did you start playing music?
So I come from a very musical family. I've been singing since I was a little kid.
Oh,
Um, but I've always been playing as long as I can remember, to be honest with you. But started with piano, then drum lessons, and then singing lessons, and well, full spectrum, you know. But I've been playing my whole life.
wow. Any professional musicians in your family?
My dad he played full time when he met my mom, and he
Oh,
was on the road himself doing like a hotel circuit, and met
wow.
my mom in Pennsylvania and somehow convinced her to move to Massachusetts,
Wow.
and I have two also very talented brothers. Everyone plays bass. My dad's a bass player, and both my
Really?
brothers play bass, and my mom says she can't sing, but I think she can sing pretty good. But pretty musical family.
Well, that's very cool. So is it just the three kids, or are there other siblings?
Just the three of us.
Right on. And are they all still up in the New England area?
Yes, yeah, everyone's back in New Hampshire.
So what was it that made you decide to do this for a living?
It was kind of a no-brainer, to be honest. This is what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I've always kind of pictured myself as a musician. I couldn't really get it out of my head growing up, really. I teetered the idea of different avenues, but like music is like the only thing that kind of came naturally to me. And I forget who told me exactly, but they said, why not go for what you're good at? So, you know, I couldn't
That's
really
pretty
picture
solid
myself
advice.
doing anything else. Yeah.
Scary.
Also scary. Yeah.
I gotta ask, because this is one of the questions that always sticks out. Um, a white boy from New England ends up being this amazing reggae rock artist, and you've just got this incredible feel in your music. But I know that it's not something that's popular up in your neck of the woods, or I shouldn't say popular, but it's not known to come from this area. Finding these East Coast reggae rock artists, they're popping up a lot more now. But how do you get into that genre of music? I'm guessing that's not what Dad was playing on the hotel circuit.
No, that's not what my dad was playing in the hotel circuit. But my dad specifically has been a huge influence on like the genres of music I listen to. You know, I played in a metal band growing up, and the hardcore metal scene in New Hampshire was very, very attractive to me at like 16, 17. And that's the music my dad would be like, what the hell are you listening to? Play it, you know? So, I mean,
I can't
but
picture
other
you
than
playing
that,
metal.
you can check it out. My old band was called Spies Like Us, and there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube.
Spies like that. I'm
It's
gonna check that
I look
out.
very different, but no, my dad has always, like, I grew up listening to funk and soul R&B and music
I
all
definitely
across
hear
the
that
spectrum.
in your
So
music.
yeah, and that's a huge influence in what I'm doing now. And you know, I've always just listened to everything, grew up listening to everything. And honestly, it wasn't until I started working at a record store at my local town, Salem, New Hampshire, called Bull Moose Music. And that's when I started smoking a lot of weed and like listening to acid jazz and all these crazy like different genres. And I had so much access to it working at the record store. And that's really when I started listening to Sublime all the time and hearing Bradley's influences in the same stuff I was listening to, and
Right.
hearing how he put this reggae twist and like kind of took all of those influences and meshed it into their own thing. And it was like mind blowing when I discovered that, and really got into the Sublime discographies. So honestly, Kelly, your brother is literally my idol. So it's really cool to
Oh,
full circle come here and talk to you guys and explain my background. So, but
that's fabulous.
he and Sublime were a huge influence on what I do now. And being from New Hampshire, you know, it was one of those things like I want to go to California one day and do all these things, and like and like you said, Jarrett, like New Hampshire isn't really known for reggae whatsoever. And the more I started playing those types of shows, it was kind of weird because all I had were like metal contacts as far as local promoters and whatnot. So there was these weird cross genre shows of like a metal band and an alternative post rock band, and then me in the middle playing reggae rock. And it wasn't for a couple of years where I actually could find a decent scene in around Manchester, New Hampshire, and Granite Lion Entertainment and this band called Roots of Creation, another band.
Love Brett.
Yeah,
So
Roots of
great.
Creation. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were on the house that Bradley built as well. And slowly but surely, like the Elevators are from the southern part of Massachusetts, and
Oh, love them.
it just organically kind of came together in the New England area. And finally meeting a group of just like-minded reggae connoisseurs getting together and just putting shows on, and how organic it was pretty great in the last few years in New England, you know.
I would imagine the Sublime sound really spoke to you because they brought together so many different types of music. And with your background, it sounds like you were really into all different types of music. Was that
Oh
a
yeah,
big part of it, you think? Just that fusion of all the different sounds?
huge part of it. Hearing Sublime for the first time, like it was huge for me because, like you just said, I mean, I was from the metal hardcore scene in New Hampshire. You know, I had all this angstiness, but I also like was not just into metal. You know, so hearing someone cross bend those genres into one sound was like, wow, they did it. He did it. He did it. You know, so in that sense, like that and like those influences of Bradley that like I can listen to a Sublime song now and hear something from from whatever band, you name it, that like you can hear the influence in what he was doing because he listened to so and so. And that is the cool thing about music for me. And that's the really thing that stuck out most about Sublime for me.
Yeah, so much of their stuff is like a musical discovery trip. You know, that's what I hear a lot from people is that
Absolutely.
they're like, I had no idea he was covering this or sampling that or influenced by this. And it really opens up for, you know, other people, these windows into other artists or other musical styles that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise explored. And to me, I think
Yeah.
that's one of the greatest things about what they did.
And it's cool to also like go even deeper and see how the production worked. Like Miguel and Marshall, their influences on top of that influenced everything behind the scenes. And even with Long Beach Dub All Stars, they have a song where the singer, he goes, "Nothing from nothing means nothing," and that's what I heard first was that Long Beach Dub All Stars song, and then I go back, Kick Down, yeah, and that song is actually I was listening to Billy Preston, and that's a Billy Preston tune. Nothing from nothing means nothing. You gotta have something. So you find it everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think it's fun too, like to be listening to something and hear a line and go, wait, where do I know that from? And then, you know, it turns out it's from a Sublime song. So it's like all, you know, comes back around too, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, Brad's constantly throwing in Smokey Robinson lines and I mean just all sorts of stuff that, you know, you're just like, wow, I can't believe I would hear that reference in this song. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, and even go ahead. Sorry, Kelly.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I remember about 10 years ago someone was telling me about, and I think I've probably mentioned this on the podcast, but someone was saying that there was an old recording of Brad doing a live show, and in it he does a little bit of Crazy by Patsy Cline. And they're like, what? That's so crazy. I mean, it's such a trip. I always wondered why he would do that. Well, you know, it's because my dad was super into Patsy Cline when he went through his like urban cowboy phase around 1980. So we grew up listening to that stuff, you know, so it was no surprise to hear that, but it's always funny because people who don't know, you know, all of his musical background are like tripped out to hear those things.
It brings that uniqueness to something that was influential. It's really cool.
Yeah. They're like all little parts of Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just one of those things where that's what makes music so much cooler. Like it just becomes this wormhole of like listening and trying to understand and where did they get this, or not even just lyrics or melody, just like this sampled beat, like he got these drums from an old Tribe Called Quest sample or this that you know, it's so cool.
Yeah, I hope when people listen to it they search out that stuff, you know, and really use that to expand their musical horizons. I think that's a big part of what Brad would have wanted.
And to segue back to the House that Bradley Built album, my version of 5446 Ball and Chain, again, like I hadn't really discovered Toots and the Maytals yet. It took listening to Sublime to know that and understand that like 5446 was an old reggae song from Toots and the Maytals, and and from what I gather from Paul Milbury and Yasad, shout out Law Records.
Love them. Love them.
From what they explained, they were trying originally to try to get like Toots to do a version for it and like explore different ideas. And since then, unfortunately, Toots had passed away.
Right.
And to be the one who got to kind of pay homage not only to Brad, but Toots from Toots and the Maytals as well, and be the one who gets to cover it and put it out on the album is so cool to me. So I'm just blessed beyond belief to be a part of this whole musical web of amazingness, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you from a fan standpoint, you know, and every single song on that album is Kelly's favorite song. So
It's true.
I never ask her, but Sublime obviously meaning so much to me musically. When I saw the album coming out, my initial first thought was, don't. And as I started listening to it, I realized that it was so much more of a tribute album than a cover album. It was artists that have been influenced by Brad, and then, you know, some artists that influenced Brad, paying tribute to him and the scene and the family. And it really kind of opened my eyes and ears to the album. Now, 5446 is a song that it's not an easy song to cover. And as I went through and looked at the songs, I'm like, oh, that he picked he got a tough one there, right? Because there's just a lot in that song, just as far as range goes. And
many dynamics.
Yeah, but there's just, and I'm like, oh man, well, let's see how this turned out. And honestly, Joe, it's truly one of my favorite songs off of the album. I mean, you really nailed it. And it was a song that I expected when I hit it. I was like, this isn't going to be good. And it's not Joe's fault. He's got a doozy here, and I just couldn't imagine. And it's also tough for me as a fan to say that other people do justice to these songs because of how I feel about the originals of them. But I got to tell you, man, it was an amazing job. You know, you could really feel. There's songs that you could hear, and there's songs that you can feel, and I could feel your version of the song on the album. So, from a fan standpoint, I just have to thank you and let you know what an amazing job you did on it.
Dude, that's the greatest compliment ever. I really appreciate that, because also being a Sublime fan, I totally get what you're saying, being like, I don't know, because like you put Brad Knoll and like Sublime on this pedestal. You don't want someone to like go in there, and so having the honor to do a good job on it and people appreciate what I did with that song specifically I appreciate it, man. That makes me feel real good. I'm glad I could pay honor to him in a good way. So, and also when they gave me the list of songs like that I could try, and they also had kind of the same response when I was like, I'll do 5446. They were like, well, we can do this one or this one. I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. Let's go.
Well, I will say that after you recorded it, I got this message from Paul at Law Records, and he was like, oh my gosh, you got to hear this. And he sent me a clip, and I got chills. I'm like, oh, it was perfect. And, you know, I love, Jarrett, what you said about how it really is more of a tribute album than a cover album, because it's not just people going, yeah, hey, I really like this song, so I want to cover it. I think it was all people who really felt influenced by Sublime or a connection to them. Obviously, if Sublime had covered one of their songs, like with Half Pine or The Descendants, but it's all, you know, people that really have a connection to Brad and Sublime. And I think that's part of what made it so great.
Absolutely. And it's so cool to be a part of the whole album. And Kelly, I every time I play 5446 down here, I have a residency down here. I'm going to be starting to hit the road the end of August, but I'm just kind of chilling down here. But every gig I've been playing, I've been mentioning the foundation, and the response I've been getting at every gig, telling people the story and check out the album, check out the foundation. Everyone's super supportive, and like Sublime fans especially, you can point them out right away when I mentioned the House of Bradley Build album. They're like, yeah!
Oh,
So
that's
cool.
so great.
But-
Thank you so much for doing that. I mean, it makes a huge difference. When we started the Knoll Family Foundation, we didn't really have a plan. We were just like, we need to do this. Somebody needs to do this. So let's do this. And it was really unclear about how we were going to make it happen. And I just love how organically it's kind of grown into this thing. And to have people like you sharing it on the other side of the country, where we can't be to be telling people about it. It really means a lot because it makes me feel like I'm not alone in this. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And I'm just so stoked to be a part of it all. So
Well,
it's easy.
Yeah, I first discovered your music. I think it was almost 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. And a friend of mine sent me a link to How We Do. And I listened to it. People send me music all the time, which I love. I love discovering new stuff. And I was like, wow, like, I really like this. Like, this is not just, oh, hey, that's a great song. Thanks for sending it. It was like, I'm going to keep listening to this. This is really great. And you have a very distinctive sound. So you're on the right track, Joe. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. And I owe a lot to people listening to it and enjoying it. And most recently, Law Records kind of took me under their wing. I just signed with them this year, and
awesome.
The new songs that I've been putting out have been unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Like as far as the support and the just the good feedback I've been getting for everything, it's really cool. So the fact that you listen to the OG stuff means awesome. It means I'm doing something right. So
well, that was just how I discovered you. But then, of course, I loved your release of Beef. That was great. Yeah. And the video that went along with it. And your latest, I want to say, is it Create Something? Am I saying that right?
Yes. Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah. So I think you're doing a great job. And I'm so stoked that you're connected with Law Records because I happen to think they're some of the most amazing people on the planet.
And I couldn't agree more. I appreciate everything, guys. You guys are super, super thoughtful.
I feel like everybody that we talk to that has been hooked up with Law Records, including the episode we did with Paul and Yasad, which you guys can check out in our archives. It's like all these like really awesome Sublime fans that know all of this stuff. I feel like it's like a clubhouse. I just want to go there and hang out with everybody and talk about obscure Sublime tracks that we found online, and you just get a chance to like totally geek out. It's like, so
it's fun.
Joe, I got to ask you, New England, are you a sports fan at all?
Oh yeah. Football specifically.
Good, because I hate all those Boston teams. A lot.
You would. We're just too good.
But you want to know what? It's okay. I'm sure you're a Patriots fan, right?
Well, I am a Patriots fan, definitely.
Okay. All right, cool.
I live in Florida now, so I don't know. I've been saying "Go Bucks" more and more.
Oh, jeez. No, there's no such thing as the adult switch. You can't switch teams after the age of 16.
Who made those rules?
It's just the way
Jarrett made the rules.
It's just the way that it goes. You can't. You're not. That is not.
Listen,
but
Patriots
I'm a Giants
number
fan,
one.
so I've won 2 Super Bowls in the last couple. Do you remember those at all, Joe? Those Super Bowls the Giants won?
I remember them, and they're ingrained in my memory forever.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I do remember.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. No.
Eli Manning had Brady's number for 2 Super Bowls, but we still got the greatest ever.
Joe Montana was on the Patriots?
This guy over here.
I know. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I knew, I'm like, he's got to be a Patriots fan. And like, the Patriots are like really good. They win the Super Bowl all the time. And I'm a Giants fan, and our team's like really pathetic, and we have been for years. But like, I've got those 2 years that I can always bring up. Like those 2 years we somehow stumbled into the Super Bowl, like the drunk guy bouncing into the wrong party, and then we just took it over. Right? Like nobody knew who he was or why he's there, but next thing you know, he's got the whole, that was us. We did that twice. So
man, the season that we were going to have an undefeated season,
yeah. Remember that?
I was a
beat
freshman
everybody.
in high school. And I just remember like that game specifically was like, no, the perfect season. I was like, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
How in the world?
Yeah.
But you know what? You guys deserved them. It's okay.
The worst part is I had to pretend, because it's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl leading up to it. You get that whole off week and then it's the Super Bowl week. And I'm like, for 2 weeks, I had to like pretend that I was super confident that the Giants were going to win. And I was like, yeah, Giants are definitely, because what else am I going to say? But like the whole time I'm like, oh my God, so many people are coming to my house and they're going to watch me cry. And it's going to be awful.
They're going to watch you cry.
Yeah. And then somehow we were able to pull it off. So, I just thought, to bring that up and just remind you that Eli is Tom Brady's daddy. So.
Oh man. Well, one's still playing, one's retired, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's and he won another Super Bowl with the Bucs, which now you're going to switch over to. So.
I got my Brady jersey, my Brady Bucs jersey. We're ready. We're ready for next season.
Oh my God, you probably have some family that's pretty upset, right?
Maybe not. Like more so, just like wishing that they lived in Florida now.
That I understand.
The whole thing with it is Brady. I was 8 years old when he started with the Pats, and then from when I was 8 years old to now, it was just Patriots domination. I grew up with Tom Brady. And the fact that he's in Florida and I'm in Florida, it seemed like fate, where it's like, you know what? I got to support my guy, Tom Brady, all day.
Tampa Bay.
Because he did it again, Tampa Bay, baby.
Yeah, he did it again. Honestly, it was so amazing when he joined the offense with the most weapons in the league and the best defense in the league. I was really shocked that he was able to go to a Super Bowl with that team. That was an impressive feat. Joe, you could have won the Super Bowl on that fucking team.
You're probably right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. You know what? I think it's cool that you made it down to Florida. Obviously, no more. Now, here's the other thing about this, Joe. I'm a Giants fan, right? But the entire time that Tom Brady was on the Patriots, I lived in Buffalo, and I even had Bills season tickets. And it was just literally like, the people in Buffalo have literally just been waiting out Tom Brady. I shit you not. They're just like, yeah, well, he can't be good forever. So eventually it's going to go. And then it was like, year 9, year 10. And it's like, yeah, eventually he's going to fall off and then it's our time. And that's just how it's going to be. We just got to wait. And so, yeah, that was, I've been able to witness it on all ends. But you got out of the cold weather. I'm still in Buffalo. But now you've kind of sacrificed because you have warm weather, but you haven't had a real slice of pizza since you got there, right?
Yeah, that's honestly, you just had to bring that up, dude. Yeah, the pizza. There is pizza down here, but it's nothing like pizza in New England.
They call it
Boston.
pizza.
They call it pizza.
Not the same, huh?
Not the same.
Okay, so I have to admit that I just 30 seconds ago figured out what you guys were talking about when you were saying the Bucks. I had in my head a buck, like an animal buck, like a deer or whatever. And I'm like, what football team is called the Bucks?
And
Buccaneers. Then 30 seconds ago, yes, that dawned on me 30 seconds ago. So tell me, how did you handle the whole pandemic with, I know it's been especially difficult for people in the music industry or in the entertainment industry as a whole. How did you sort of manage to keep your sanity and still keep your career on track?
So when everything kind of hit the fan, I was still in New Hampshire. I was living at my parents' house and I was 28, now I'm 29, but being at my parents' house, being 28, I can't play any shows. It was just a very, very depressing time and very what am I going to do type of time. And really all of those emotions, everything I was feeling, outside of just that in general too, just own personal day-to-day battles that everyone has. Music is my outlet. So what I did was write my next album. record it at Revelry Studios, and I just kind of took all of that negativity and tried to turn it into a positive, creative thing for myself. And in turn, I have this awesome album that came out of it, and I got some opportunities. One of them moving to Key West and be able to at least perform full time while I'm waiting to at least go on the road. And since then, I've been able to sign with Law. I moved my girlfriend down here. We got a beautiful dog and cat, and life is really good a year later. And if you told me where I'd be at right now a year ago, I would not believe you. So it's just really about keeping my head clear of just depressive, negative thoughts, and find my own happy. And you got to find it for yourself. And I'm lucky that I'm on the track to all the success, and it comes with yourself. You got to start. It starts with yourself. And honestly, during the pandemic, it was like I feel like it was the same for a lot of people, where there's just like this kind of kick in the ass of like, okay, what now? Like, what do I do now? And you took a second to assess, like, what is happening? How am I going to fix it? And just kind of trusting yourself and your gut, and let it happen organically. The word organically has been used a lot today, I think.
Right. It's so true. I loved what you said, that music is your outlet, because not only is that a wonderful outlet during stressful times for you as a musician, but also for all the people that listen to your music. I know, especially during the pandemic, so many people were relying on music as a lifeline. And I love that you were creating new music and giving that, even though you weren't having an opportunity to get out and perform and get something from it. You just continued to give. And I think that's a big part of your success. I also, I keep a list of quotes, and I love what you just said. You got to find your own happy. I just added that to my list of quotes, Joe. But it's so true. And I think, whether we're in a pandemic or not, regardless, we all have to find our own happy, and life happens. We can't always control what happens, but we can control how we respond to it. And that's a really good way to put it. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes, for sure. And it's how you respond to it and not react to it. Because when you react to it, you might not have the best reaction. So
right.
If you can process what's going on and try to positively have it change your way of thinking and learning from it instead of reacting, and understanding it, and be friends with those demons enough where they leave you alone.
So true.
So wait, true. I'm poor and I have 3 small children and I never leave the house. Is there a pandemic going on or something? Because I feel like my life doesn't change at all. And hearing that come from you, it really kind of puts it into perspective. I mean, I joked during the pandemic, like, I don't go anywhere and do anything anyway. I'm stuck in my house with 3 kids doing homework and whatever else it is. So like, as much as it crushed the world around us, my day-to-day life didn't really change that much. I've always worked from home, and I'm always changing diapers and breaking up fights. So, but to hear, as we're talking to these musicians and to hear from you, I realize, man, there's a lot of people that really got everything just put on hold because of this. And like Kelly said, you were able to create and have something to show coming out of it. And I joked and during the pandemic, I guess, and said, like, man, every musician and every screenwriter and every comedian, they better have some fucking gold ready for us, because they've been sitting at home and they've got nothing better to do than write awesome songs and hilarious stand-ups and really good movies. Like, the entertainment business should be booming when we come out of the other side of this, because everybody's just been creating. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily been the case, but you certainly have, and like you said, a ton of success had come through it, and I think that just speaks volumes for who you are and the fact that you were able to continue to work and take advantage of that time, and you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Absolutely. You just said it, man, and like in general, it's it's good to understand that I'm not alone in all this stuff too throughout this whole pandemic. Like a lot of people are feeling the same feelings, and I feel like if anything,
Right.
it's going to bring people together after the fact, and there'll be a lot more love and a lot of creativity that comes out of what's going on. And I'm just stoked for shows. I'm stoked to see people smiling and dancing and hit the road, and I'm just excited. It'll take it. I have a line in one of my new songs. It takes a dark cloud for the life to grow. So it takes the bullshit. It takes all this anguish and what the hell to really, really cherish and love like the good that comes out of the darkness.
So
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
So what's up next for you, Joe? You said you're going to be hitting the road.
Yeah. So basically I just started working with Alpine Agency. They've been booking a lot of my new stuff, and I'll be heading out to Hawaii again. The end of July, I'll be playing the 30th, 31st, and August 1st with Kalohi Kai for the Best of Kalohi Kai acoustic tour. Nice. And then I'll be back in the mainland with Pacifier, and I'll be doing that throughout September and October. And I am stoked to go out with them because I've been listening to them for a long time.
Aren't they fabulous? Is there any chance you guys are going to be out on the West Coast?
I believe they will be. I'm only doing the East Coast runs with them.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, the next time you head out here, you've got to be sure to let me know because I know my dad would love to see you again too. He really enjoyed the time that you came over and that you played, and he had such great things to say about you.
So awesome. Well, it's sounding like I'll be out there probably the beginning of 2022. I'll be around that area. Yeah.
Great. Well, I look forward to it. Any new releases that we can be counting on?
Well, yeah, my song Beef's out. My new song Create Something. I actually just dropped this past Friday a cover called I Love. It's one of my favorite rappers, Jordan Lucas. I did a cover of his song I Love, and that's available right now. And August 13th, I dropped my EP. It's called Crazy Little Village. And that kind of will give you a taste of like the Key West vibes that have inspired some new stuff for me, and the artwork and the music itself. And that drops August 13th, and I'm so stoked.
Looking forward to that. And for people who want to check out more of your music, where can they find you?
You can go on joesambo.com or follow me on Instagram. It's at joesambomusic. Anything social media at joesambomusic.
Thank you so much for being with us on the show today, Joe. And thank you for always having just such a positive, upbeat attitude. It comes through in your music and in all the stuff on your social media. And I think you're a real light in this industry, and I sure appreciate that about you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me. This is great.
Oh, no, it was awesome. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Jarrett.
Enjoy that Florida sunshine.
Even though you're a Giants fan, Jarrett.
Well, I don't know, Joe. Maybe I'll wait and see who wins the Super Bowl, and then I'll become their fan. Right? That's what we did. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm a Giants fan.
I love it. Gosh. Bring it on.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much, man.
Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Man, Joe Sambo, just an awesome guy. I mean, you can feel him smiling and his good vibes just through the phone on the interview.
Right? I agree. I love him. I love his energy, and it comes through in his music too, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, like from the second he got on, like I was in a little bit of a better mood, honestly. So yeah, Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, make sure you're checking out everything that Joe has going on. He told you where to follow him. Check out his music. It's just, it's a lot of fun. And if you're a fan of this podcast and the other bands that we've had on here, I have no doubt that if you haven't already heard Joe, which you probably have, but if you haven't, you should get in there and check him out. Now, guys, we brought you another awesome interview today, but you know why we're really doing this, and that's to raise money to get Bradley's house up and open. So much cool stuff going on, so many ways that you can help. The link tree is going to be right below You can check that out in the description on wherever you're listening to this show. Click on that. It'll tell you all of the different ways that you can help out. You can visit the NowellFamilyFoundation.org, get more information on what Kelly and her dad and everybody at the foundation is doing and what the goal is to get Bradley's house up and open if you're not sure. Every dollar counts, and you guys are out there, you're buying the t-shirts and the hoodies, sending over your donations, and it means so much to the family, doesn't it, Kelly?
It really does. And, you know, as I said when we were talking with Joe, it means so much to know that we're not alone in this. And it really is something that we're all building together and creating together. And we're going to have a big impact together. And I feel really fortunate to be able to do it with all, you know, everybody all pulling in the same direction. And so every donation reminds us that we're in this together. Every share, every subscribe, all of it makes a big difference. And also, if you have a business that you'd like to have advertised on the podcast, we're looking for sponsors. So definitely reach out to us at bradleyshousepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to talk with you about that. But yeah, a lot of great stuff going on. I'm excited that artists are starting to tour again. Things are opening up a bit. And I know a lot of people are stoked to be getting out there and hitting the road, and a lot of people are stoked to be able to get out there and catch some shows. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, things are heading in the right direction all around. So a very exciting time. Guys, you can go ahead and check out all of our information. We're on YouTube at Bradley's House. You can get archives to all of our past interviews, guys like Miguel and Marshall, Brad and Kelly's dad, Jacob, and awesome stories from guys like Ken Denson, who's a board member who just told some amazing stories. If you're just catching up to the podcast now, go ahead and check out the archives. We also have a bunch of the songs from the artists that were on the house that Bradley built. Those videos are loaded up on there as well. Those were also posted at Law Records. Of course, law-records.com is where you can pick up the house that Bradley built, and you can also get information on a bunch of the artists that were featured on the album as they're right there in the Law Records family. So check that out. Now, we already played Joe Sambo's 5446 early on in the podcast. It was one of my favorite tracks off of the album. But, Kelly, in tradition, we're going to leave everybody with a song, right?
Yes, we are. And we're going to have Beef, which was released by Joe Sambo a few months ago, earlier this year. Super fun, upbeat song. I guarantee it'll make you smile. So enjoy Beef by Joe Sambo.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. Remember, visit the NowellFamilyFoundation.org. I'm Jarrett Orr. She's Kelly Nowell. We're out of time. You don't have to go home, but it's time to leave Bradley's house. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Stirring up a crowd right before they walk away. If they don't jive with the lyrics on the stage, what they're missing is the beat from the groove in the bass. Like a big fat steak, got sauce on the plate. Baby, I can feel it. It don't matter if I can't read it, I can feel it. It doesn't even matter if you steal it, I can feel it. I think it's time to dance, can you feel it? I can feel it, baby, I can feel it. Now if you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some fans. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. Ha. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some fans. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance, ha. If you wanna dance, woo. Give me shake it till you break it, gotta fake it till you make it. Tell me where you wanna take it, wanna be the one to save it. Take a moment to relate it, better not go and berate it. Take a move and recreate it. Wanna dance, you gotta face it, baby. Push, little salt and pepper, give a kick and push. House made grooves like baby, let's push. Wanna get big, got the munchies from Kush. Got my belly full with the rhythm, let's push. I'ma light you up with my lyrics. Stop and turn your head, I'll attract you when you hear it. Now you're mine, moving through the roof, and when you see me, shimmy, shimmy, give me, taking over, Mussolini. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some fans. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some fans. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance, ha. If you wanna dance, yeah. make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some friends. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. Ha. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some friends. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some friends. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance, now's your chance to make this groove a true romance. Everybody stand up, make some friends. Everybody stir it up, stir it up. If you wanna dance,
Oh, baby.
if you wanna dance, if you wanna dance.